yesterday, but it's an old day now.
Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed effers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks and chuckettes, kings and queens, to another version of It's News to Us. And as you can see, we are not in studio today. And why are we not in studio today? Well, two reasons. If I could turn this camera to outside, there's like 3 inches of friggin' snow and slush out there, all right? And I don't know. And the other thing is, since today is Wednesday? What's today?
Wednesday the 22nd.
Today's Wednesday. I have been battling a friggin' the worst cold I have had since I was a little kid, when my mother had to call Dr. DeLeo to come over our house. But back then I was running a fever. And see this? See this? These are COVID tests that I took. 2 of them a day. Every freaking one of them was negative. Yet I was prescribed some kind of antiviral, I won't mention which one, that I had to stop taking after 2 days. I thought, man, I got 2 ways of going out. Either this thing is either the flu is gonna kill me, or in combination with it's gonna kill me with the even faster with the medicine, with the antiviral. It's I won't mention the names, but it begins with a P. And anyways, and you're probably wondering, why the Nazi regalia? You know, why the Nazi regalia? Well, we brought in last week's show. We brought in. Why is that backwards?
Oh, hold on. I can fix that. We just need... How about... Oh, wait. Did that do it? That did not do it.
I'll be damned.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, I don't know why it's... Well, you know what we'll do? We'll invert the video so when people see it, it won't be backwards.
The Führer is not going to be kind with you if its swastika is backwards, Tom.
It seems like I can control my camera on this side, but I can't control yours. So, but what we can do is we can flip the whole video around. That's funny. Or you can switch it on your end, but that's probably more of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and speaking of which, there he is. Yeah. Yeah, see, the reason for the Nazi stuff is all the kids, the latest thing now is it's okay to Jew bait. And a lot of you kids don't even know what Jew baiting is. And even Todd didn't know. I mean, the 2 words have been out of circulation for the past 40 years.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it in my life.
Because, let's face it. I mean, Israel has been our number 1 recipient of foreign aid, with Egypt coming in at number 2 every year after year after year. But it's the Jew baiting. It goes on now, and speaking of which, it is the day before Thanksgiving, and where do you think our Führer is? Joe Biden, Herr Biden. The guy with the, he looks like an alien now. You see what happens when you get plastic surgery and you get older and the plastic surgery gets worse and worse, Todd? His eyes are looking like little alien slits. He looks like one of them gray aliens they got from Roswell or something. But anyways, he is down at Nantucket right now. And why they have a runway at Nantucket that can handle Air Force One is beyond me. I mean, it's just a little island but you need like a minimum of 6 to 7,000, 8,000 feet of runway to land a plane that big. Well, our Fuhrer, Joe Biden, for all you kids who he's turned into serfs and slaves, you will own nothing, says Klaus Schwab. You're going to own nothing. You own nothing. And the inflation is going to eat up your wages like you've never seen. But, at least he wasn't Orange Man bad. Alfio is now staying with a guy named, what the hell? His name is Rubenstein, David Rubenstein. Now I'm thinking, okay, today is the 60th anniversary of JFK's murder in Dallas. That yours truly was sent home from school from in second grade. Okay, first grade was pretty bad. We had the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was scary. Second grade, we had JFK. And we were all sitting in class, and speakers came on and said, would all the teachers please come down to the office, the main office? Well, all the teachers they go down to the office, and they tell us to behave, of course, which we don't. We're making paper airplanes and throwing pencils and erasers at each other. They go down to the office and they come back, they're all crying. All the teachers were crying. And next thing you know, it was a beautiful day, like 9/11/01. They come back and they had to wait for the buses to come back to bring us home. They were so worried about, I don't know what they were worried about, but they sent us home. Probably because the teachers would have been just mush. You know how they are. They're all Democrats anyways. They just probably blubbering into their soup. But it was a horrible thing. But anyways, this David Rubenstein owns a $40 million mansion on Nantucket. Well, what was the name of the guy who shot Lee Harvey Oswald, Todd?
Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I don't remember.
I
was just watching a story on that too. It wasn't Rooney, was it?
It was, his name was Ruby.
Ruby, okay. I was close.
Jack Ruby.
Jack Ruby.
And what was Ruby short for, Toddster?
I'm going to guess Rubenstein.
Yes, Rubenstein. Red Rock in German. So if we get so we can jubate the president too. Let's see you little snot-faced punks go down to Nantucket and try to get anywhere near that mansion. Or maybe you can go put some bloody handprints on the White House when Joe Biden's not even there. Oh, that'll change his mind, I'm sure. I don't think so. But anyways, what are we going to do for news? Well, let's start with the news that you might not hear on the news or see on the news. There's a study came out in the Lancet, according to Robert Malone. If you go to Malone, he's the guy, he was one of the guys who helped develop the mRNA technology. And he wrote this book here. Stella, get off me. Get off my foot. To put up with the little dog, too.
You need a babysitter.
Yeah, I need a stick. It's backwards.
It's not anymore. Well, it won't be. It's only backwards for you. It'll be rightwards for the audience.
It's only backwards during production, stupid.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, anyways, this is one of the latest book. I think he's coming out with a new one, too. Robert Malone, MD-MS. And he was on the War Room show with Steve Bannon, warroom.org. and it's worth checking out. It's about the only place you're going to find out real news about the real debt and the real numbers. And he was talking about this study in the Lancet. In the Lancet, they came out with a study. Supposedly, this is one of the best peer-reviewed journal on the friggin' planet, as far as medicine goes, and yada, yada, yada. It's in England. There was a study in the Lancet a while ago that said that the vaccine. Now, I'm just for those of for them and YouTube. I'm just reporting what they're reporting. Okay, this is not my opinion or anything. They came out and said that the vaccine had saved 14 million lives, Todd. It had saved that many lives.
14 million?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great vaccine, isn't it?
How does the data work on that? Did 18 million people, how many million people got the vaccine?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. This group of doctors or scientists went back to that study and got those numbers of people who've been vaccinated, whatever. And they double checked and ran the data. And the study is come up with last week. I don't know, early this week, whatever. It just dropped. It's probably on the Lancet website, lancet.org or lancet.com, lancet.org. And they say that the excess deaths or all-cause mortality deaths were actually 17 million. So instead of saving 14 million lives, the Lancet's now saying, or these scientists are now saying that there are 17 million who would be here alive
if they hadn't,
had they not that rolled up their sleeves. It's crazy. It's crazy. I haven't looked at the study yet, so I don't know. Check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Never do that. Anyways, yeah. So this David Rubenstein guy, he happens to be the head of a bunch of bandits, the Beltway bandits, called the Carlyle Group. Now, when was the last time we heard about the Carlyle Group, Toddster?
I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you.
Well, we used to hear about them when we heard about Halliburton. Remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah, because the Bushes were involved. You talk about a uniparty, right?
Yeah.
They don't care what party's in power. It don't matter to them because they get in the Carlyle Group. They got deals. I don't know if they went through Joe or not, but they got deals to corporate cronyist deals to invest your pensions and your teachers and your city workers and stuff like that. Invest all these pension funds in China, which is now which is now facing what do you call it? A friggin' real estate crisis. Why do you think Xi Jinping was here last week with all those bootlickers out in San Francisco? Heck, Biden couldn't get anybody to show up at his little dinner. They were all the Silicon Valley, Silicon Valley people. They were all hanging out at the Xi Jinping dinner. Anyways, he's a great buddies with the Supreme Court. Now there's a couple of people who are going after. Why is Terry emailing me during the show? Stop distracting me. Oh, where was I? See, now I'm lost.
You were talking about Xi Jinping being over here in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, Silicon
Valley.
Yeah, that's where we seal up the bath tiles. The Supreme Court, they're going after Clarence Thomas. Oh, he stayed at some rich guy's house, or he went on some rich guy's private jet. So, God bless him. In the Senate, they said, "Okay, you want to play that game? 2 people can play that game, because we got a lot of your buddies, the liberal members of the Supreme Court, and they got a lot of friends in high places, and they accept a lot of gifts also. You know what I mean? It's the way things work in the Capitol, and it's crazy. It's crazy. You're gonna go after Clarence Thomas? Yeah, come on. But they're still jumping out of their skin because they don't control the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, let's face it, this is the first conservative Supreme Court we've seen since since before FDR, since before Roosevelt in the 30s, the 20s. And yeah, and he got them so scared that they friggin' resigned, and he appointed liberals. He had them shaking in their boots. He said, "We're going to enlarge the court. We're going to go from 9 members to like 13 or 18, and then we're going to have a mandatory government retirement age at like 60." And so they were all like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" So half of them resigned and left. Know your history, anyways. It's crazy. So, yeah, speaking of crony capitalism, I have an item of here from our local paper about crony capitalism. Here it is right here. Because let's face it, this show was started in 2009 to deal with local news primarily. Biden administration singles out Beta, what the hell is it? Beta Technologies, an electric aircraft company over in Burlington, for a $169 million loan. Now, isn't that great, boys and girls? Can you read that? Oh, no, you can't read it because it's backwards.
No, it's not. It's not backwards. It's only backwards for you.
You have to hold the show up to a mirror. So it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. How many of you people out there could start up a company, any company, and then just have your buddies like Leahy and Joe? And this is where our money goes. This is what the Democrats always do. They don't believe in free markets. They're not free markets at all. This is crony capitalism. If this guy wanted $169 million, let him go bow and scrape to Elon Musk or the Chinese or the local neighborhood bank like they'd have it, right?
160 million.
Gosh, 170. Sure, we got it. Right out back. You want that check or in nickels? Beta Technologies, the electric aircraft manufacturer based in South Burlington, has been singled out by the Biden administration for a $169 million loan to help finance the company's new manufacturing facility on Williston Road at the Patrick Leahy Burlington International Airport. We're going to name an airport after Leahy? It's like, well, when does my flight leave? I don't know. We forgot. We get one of our 60 staff members to get back to you. That's Leahy for you. Anyways, the 188,000 square foot electric factory is expected to create hundreds of jobs Now, where have we heard that before, boys and girls? Can you say EB5? Remember that? JP?
Oh, yes.
Or Ponzi Peak? Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Expected to create hundreds of jobs as Beta ramps up to full production for its customers in the cargo, medical, defense, and passenger industries. Hey, look, nothing against the new electric motors, the batteries, any of this stuff, okay? But do you really want to be the first to hop in one of these electric airplanes, Toddster?
Not so much, no.
You know, go for
I'm
a
fine
little.
with an electric car, but if that dies, you just kind of coast to a stop.
Yeah, you hope.
You hope.
Yeah, you hope the doors will open.
Well, yeah.
You hope it doesn't set your garage on fire.
Well, we'll iron all that out.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure.
That's why you're never the first. You never are the first to adapt any new technology. You got to let them get the kinks out first.
Yeah.
But airplane, that seems.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, really. If you ever watch Jay Leno's garage, Jay Leno has an electric car.
Yeah.
It's a 1903 Baker.
Oh, he's got one of those electric cars.
Yeah. The General Motors wouldn't let you keep any of those EVs that they made during the 90s that everybody loved. I wish I could run that documentary on the green screen someday. Or damn friggin' Bluetooth would probably kick me off. Anyways, the loan was made by the Export-Import Bank of the United States. Export-Import Bank. Huh. Isn't that the bank with the CIA connections? Huh. Or was that a different one?
It's a credit union.
Yeah, it was a credit union. Yeah, really. In part because of Beta's growth and because of current and potential customers the company has in countries such as New Zealand, India, Japan, and Canada. In 5 years, Beta has gone from a handful of employees to 600, with 400 in Vermont as of October. Well, sure. I mean, they're making fuselages and this and that. And no, not me. All right. Yeah, I'm not. No. And it's because of current and potential customers in these foreign companies. Why don't they go straight for investors in New Zealand or in India or in Japan or in Canada? Kyle Clark, founder and chief executive, traveled to Washington for an event hosted by Secretary of Crony Commerce Gina Raimondo, former governor of Rhode Island, who locked the whole friggin' state down for no stupid reason during COVID. Beyond all, don't get me going. Let's see. Traveled to DC for an event to highlight a total of nearly $200 billion of investments from Asia-Pacific companies in the United States since Biden took office in 2020. Now, that tells it all, doesn't it, Todd?
It's an eye-opener.
Why?
A head-scratcher is what I meant to say.
Why? He doesn't have eyes. He has little slits now. Why are we paying billions? Why are they taking $200 billion of our tax money to spread out amongst their friends and donors? This is insane. But
we can't have health care for people.
No. And we're in debt. We're in debt. I mean, we're in debt so bad that the money we're servicing the debt is going to take up all our money. I mean, you talk about Social Security not lasting 10 years. It ain't going to last 2.
Do they still have in Manhattan, they used to have a live ticker of the national debt.
The debt clock. Yep.
Is that still there?
It's on the internet, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in Manhattan, like in high school, and just standing under it and watching the numbers just climb, like in real time, and it was like,
Yeah, the only one who cared about it was Ron Paul.
Yeah.
Rand Paul's father. And
yeah.
the old timers used to say, you know, let's go down to Washington, D.C. And they're just, you know, why? It was welfare, warfare, interest on the debt. That's what it was. That's what it is. Welfare, warfare, interest on the debt. But where they're taking $200 billion of investments. Wait a minute. To highlight a total of $200 billion of investments from Asia Pacific companies. Wait a minute. $200 billion of investments from Asia Pacific companies in the United States since Biden took office. Does that mean these Asian Pacific countries are the ones ponying up the $200 billion? I don't get it. What do I have to go to the friggin' Department of Commerce website to find out any of this? This is crony capitalism. All right, let's see. 4A. Oh, God bless Rosalind Carter. Jimmy Carter, he was our first baby boomer president. Well, he was the first president the boomers elected, put it that way. And he was honest. So you know what happens when you send an honest man to Washington? He got torn to shreds. You know?
You either get crooked or you get screwed over.
Well, like Harry Truman said, if you show up to Washington broke and you leave here rich, you're a crook. And yeah, they chewed up Jimmy Carter and spit him out, man. And I'm watching something I'm watching all these news outfits going on and on about Rosalind Carter. She used to sit in on cabinet meetings and stuff like that. It was no big deal. I mean, she didn't have a hammer and friggin' gavel and preside over them or anything. I mean, the woman was great, you know. She was nice. But they said, oh, yeah, what brought down Jimmy Carter was the hostage crisis in Iran. Yeah, well, and Reagan. Reagan got the hostages back. Well, you know how Reagan got the hostages back, Todd?
I watched a documentary on it a few years ago. I'm a little fuzzy on the details, but I remember that he didn't release them, or they didn't release them until like the day after the election or something like that.
Yeah. Well, he traded arms for hostages.
Right. Yeah.
As Johnny Carson said when he was all done up like Reagan sitting at the breakfast table. He had traded Lucky Charms for sausages. So he traded charms for sausages. But anyways, that's what happened. Yeah, this when the Shah of Iran left. I mean, his friggin' custom made 747 had so much gold in it could barely friggin' get airborne out of Mirabel Airport in Tehran. That you know there was no way for the Iranians or the Ayatollah. Let's face it, there was no way for the Ayatollah to get spare parts for his. I don't know if they were F-15s. No, they were a fairly modern jet. We gave Iran pretty much whatever they wanted. You know what I mean? When it came to foreign aid, they had the money, they had oil, they could pay for it. So there was not a boycott or whatever. They shut down the pipeline to the spare parts. So, well, what happened next door? Well, next door you got Saddam Hussein, and he's over there rattling his sabers, and he's got jets, and Saddam Hussein's got a whole friggin' bunch of American and Russian jets, right? And French Mirages. So they needed the parts right away, to keep Iraq from attacking them. So George Bush went and flew to Paris and made the sweetheart secret deal where as soon as to hold the hostages, because I don't know if they were ready to release them or what, but Bush told them to no. Bush said, you hold on to them hostages until January 9th and I'll call you, okay? When you get my phone call, then you release them. So as soon as Ronald Reagan gave his inaugural address, bang, the hostages came home after 444 days. Yeah, what a coincidence. What a freaking coincidence that was. And they didn't come out with it. They didn't come out with it until years later. And they never. And who was in charge of half of that stuff? Oliver North. And who knew a bunch about it? Noriega. Because there were drugs involved. Let's face it. It's something like 80% of the cocaine that's transshipped around Africa and into Europe, Todd, goes through Hezbollah. They're making a fortune selling coke.
I'm jealous.
Terry's jealous. Terry's walking by. He said he's jealous.
It's crazy, man.
But he says he likes Pepsi better.
Yeah, I do. Oh, look, here's a cute picture of one of them. Wait a minute. One of those battery-powered aircraft.
Sweet.
Cruising over the skies of Burlington. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Attaboy, give him the gun.
How many miles can the electric plane go before it has to be recharged?
Yeah, I don't know. Depends on weight and cargo, I guess.
From Burlington to Albany.
Yeah, we might make it across the lake. Here's a parachute. No, I'm sorry. It's over Washington, D.C. There's the Washington Monument. In a statement, Clark said Beta is excited to partner with the Exim Bank as part of its Make More in America initiative, designed to unlock financing for American manufacturing with loans for companies with the potential to export their products. Yeah, export their products. You know what's going to happen, don't you? As soon as they get one of these, if these things work, and if they do work, as soon as they get one of them to China, it's over, Jack. China will be selling them for friggin' half the money. That'll be the end of friggin' Beta Technologies. Because that's the way that's the way China works, and whatever China wants, Joe gives them. Oh, and speaking of which, I was talking to my buddy Pete, right? Last night I was talking to him. You know how us old people are. We're telling him about our health problems. Yeah, we're getting older. And I told him I had this cold and it almost killed me. And he says, I know. He says, now mind you, I've known this guy for, let's see. It's been 60 years since Kennedy got killed. I've known this guy for 50 friggin' years, right? Mm-hmm. He's tough as an ox. He's French Canadian, strong like a bull. And blonde, curly hair. The girls used to chase him around. And he told me he had it. It rolled through southern New England about a month ago. And he said it knocked his dick in the dirt. And he spent 3 days in bed, Todd. And he said he'd never been that sick. Never been that sick. Yeah. So I guess it's just making its way up here. But who knows? if you haven't got it by now, the chances are you might not get it, you know? Which brings us back to the stuff that we learned during COVID, like wash your hands, okay? Wear
Yep.
gloves. Wear gloves. Don't be touching. Don't open the door to the men's room at your local grocery store and then go home and pick your nose on the way out. It's simple stuff. It's and there's still a few places that have their sneeze guards up between you and the cashier. Stop it. Get down, you dirty dog. Yeah. The general store down the road here, they still have their sneeze guard up. Anyway, it's this not only a vote of confidence in the work Beta is doing, it'll help create well-paid, climate-focused jobs. Oh, really? Climate-focused? What are you going to do with these batteries when they're done? They're going to be hazardous materials, toxic waste. You fool! Don't whiz on my leg and tell me it's raining, okay? Because I know rain ain't that warm. It never is, except in Hawaii. Yeah. America has a long history of leadership in aerospace, and Exim's support enables us to do our part to add to that legacy for the future. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, don't tell me. Beta delivers Alia aircraft to the Air Force for training and experimentation. Oh, no. Man, as if we didn't have those, how many of them Ospreys have killed our Marines and crashes? It's something stupid like, my God, I don't know how many have died. Those Osprey, have you ever seen those aircraft, Todd?
Mm-mm. Well, maybe.
They have 4 propellers on them, right?
Yep.
And they lift off like a helicopter.
Oh, yeah, those are crazy.
Yeah, and then the wings gradually turn forward and you fly away. Well, it's a great idea. I mean, they tried it in the 1930s and it didn't work then. I wonder why. They don't work now either. On October 26th, Beta delivered its first to the Air Force. They flew one to Duke Field at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida in a series of flights down the East Coast, covering more than 1,500 nautical miles from Vermont. Okay, October 26th. Now, I'm wondering, how many times did they have to stop for a charge? They don't say. They don't say. And they don't say whether they pre-positioned the chargers or if you can just plug into the... I don't think with the aircraft, you want to save as much weight as possible. So I don't think there's any way you can... they have a built-in charger. That would just add weight. So they would have to gone down with a car or truck, pre-position a friggin' chargers along the way. Oh, man. 15 underground data. The Alia will remain at Duke Field for several months, where the Air Force will train and experiment with it to validate it for uses including resupply, cargo delivery, and personnel transport, according to a news release. Well, I hope the new Air Force recruits are skinny. I hope they're lightweight. Oh, here we are. Oh, of course. You can't go a day in the Burlington paper without one of these here. Oh, that's right. You can't read it because it's backwards.
It's not bad.
United Nations, world's racing past warning limit. Really? Is this the same United Nations that doesn't do anything except dine in New York City and hang around all friggin' day and take up no parking spaces? Report calls for slashing emissions by 42% to meet the Paris goals. Oh yeah, who's gonna slash the 42%? We are. Who's not gonna slash it by anything? China, India, Pakistan, Iran. You think any of these people give a sweet patoot about global warming? No. It doesn't matter anyways, because I mean we've got to get Trump back to deport these people that come in here. I mean, the black people are starting to wake up. Okay, now black people and Hispanics, the people who are citizens, the people who were born here, the people who, and the other people who came here legally, who waited in line, learned the language, learned the history, got their citizenship. All these people are waking up to the fact that we're paying billions, okay, billions and billions for these deadbeats to hang around the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. You know who owns the Roosevelt Hotel in New York, Toddster?
Well, Roosevelt, of course. No, I have no idea.
Bully. The Roosevelt Hotel is owned by Pakistan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Viacom.
Yeah. Well, yeah, really, Comcast, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And last week in Massachusetts, or was it New York? I don't know. They had a busload of these friggin' losers, and we're giving them 3 hots and a cot. I'm telling you, they get 3 prepared meals a day, room service. It's nuts. And they put them on a bus, said, look, we're taking you guys out to a new place. We've got it all set up. You got video games. We got all kinds of, you'll love it. Hop on the bus. So they hopped on the bus. They took them out, and they got off the bus. They looked around, then they said, no, take us back. They wouldn't stay.
Wow.
It's crazy. And now we've got orders in Customs and Border Protection. You have to ask them their pronouns. You can't ask them their pronouns.
You can't?
No, you can't say Mr. or Mrs. or
those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's crazy because we're stupid. Yeah, in the military, they keep getting whatever they want because our spineless, fake opposition Republican Party. Speaking of which, see that flag behind me, Todd?
Yeah, it looks a little tattered.
Yeah. You know where that came from?
Hmm.
That was the one that was out on the Common out here a few years ago. In that shape.
Really?
I did not touch that flag. It was that ripped up. And I couldn't take it anymore. So I went on the interweb and ordered 2 of them, new ones, American and a Vermont state flag. And we put them out there, and the town clerk didn't even know it. I told her, I said, no, the Legion didn't change that flag. I said it was me and Ray, for crying out loud. Yours truly paid for it. Oh, and speaking of which, there's now I can't say anything bad about the election machines because we all know that the election machines are perfect and they work perfectly and they would never, ever screw up anything. Well, years ago, I think it was after the Trump election, I don't know. I think a judge sealed up some case or something. But the court sealed it, whatever. Well, another Georgia court or the Court of Appeals or whatever, has just made a decision that could prove pretty eye-opening about these machines. And you know where you're not going to hear about it? Anywhere, especially on Fox. Because Fox just mentioned these stupid machines. They got sued by the owners. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways, the best place to find out stuff like that regarding the machines is through Mike Lindell. The My Pillow guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you go to his website, lindell.com or something, he's got a bunch of them. But make sure you get on his official website. But, We haven't heard diddly squat about this Georgia decision.
Here, I'll cover you. Oh, never mind. I won't do this because it'll be backwards. I was going to put a ticker up saying that you love voting machines.
Yeah.
But it'll be backwards because I got to flip your video around.
Well, that'll be great. Then the algorithm won't catch it.
Oh, well, there you go. See, there you go, Steve.
All right. I do. I love the machines. They're great. They're never hooked up to the internet, and they're 100% accurate. Oh, yeah. And it looks like Elon Musk is going after Media Matters, man. If you go to Michael Schallenberger's website or just look him up, he wrote an article about how Media Matters, or there's this puke, a Democratic hack named David Brock. They manipulated what do you call it? Twitter's website or X's website, right? They manipulated it so that these Nazi ads would come up next to like General Motors ads and stuff like that. Mm. Well, Schallenberger and some other guys tried to replicate it, to see if they could do it too. Well, they couldn't. They couldn't replicate it, which showed that Media Matters had been tampering with Elon Musk. And old Musk, he believes in free speech now, and he is not happy. He's got a bee in his bonnet, and he's going to sue the living crap out of Media Matters.
Aren't there a bunch of companies that are pulling their advertising because of the stand that Elon took against Media Matters too?
Oh, yeah, that's what they're saying. Sure. Yeah. I mean, these, good luck. Single-sourced articles.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh, and speaking of fakery and stuff being hidden, the rest of the January 6th video is now being released, which shows a bunch of geezers and tourists just mildly walking their way through the Capitol, carrying their flags, high-fiving and fist-bumping the Capitol Police. Yeah, all this stuff. And Liz Cheney and the rest of these guys, Adam Kinzinger, they're all going bananas over this video, and because they didn't want anybody to see it. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congresswoman from Georgia, she's going to try and there already is a committee that's looking into it because of this stupid insurrection crap. And a judge ruled, too, that they couldn't kick Trump off the ballot because of a Civil War law about insurrection. It's like, oh, my God. No, you'd have to be a member of the Confederate Army, all right? There are no Confederates left alive. The last one died in 1959 when I was 3 years old. It's crazy.
Well, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Donald Trump, but
many are.
It seems to me, with all the effort that they're putting trying to get him off the ballot, maybe they should just find a candidate that could actually beat him.
Oh, hell no. Oh, no.
Wouldn't that be better to just beat him in the election?
No. The Uniparty will not allow that, man.
I'm not a political strategist or anything, but...
Well, 60 years ago today, look what they did to JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they're willing to do that, and they ran around Dealey Plaza, scooping up every camera, every movie camera. The only one that they didn't get for some reason was the Zapruder film. Somehow they didn't grab him because he was standing up on a pedestal. Maybe he just stayed up there and hid his friggin' Kodak under his coat. But
I see you looking at your watch. You got about 5 minutes ish.
Yeah. He's he videoed the friggin' bullet, man. That killed Kennedy. It was nasty. No, and for some reason, he didn't release it to the public, or he couldn't. I don't know why. What happened? I'd have to dig into it some more. But Zapruder, what's his face? I can't remember the guy's name. The people who own Time Life magazine, they swooped in and bought. Once when they found out that Zapruder had that film, they swooped in and they bought the only copy, and it sat in the safe of the Time Life building in New York City until what's his face subpoenaed it. The guy from the Oliver Stone movie there, the judge, or the DA in New Orleans. Oh, damn it. Why can't I remember his name? Jim Garrison.
Yeah.
Jim Garrison's, and then he brought it out, and I think it was either Garrison or Geraldo. I think Geraldo might have been the first person to show it on TV.
Yeah, he was. Wasn't it like 20 years later or something?
10 at least.
Or yeah, 10, 15, something like that.
Yeah, it was at least 10. Yeah, and the FBI, you can thank the FBI for a lot of stuff. They spied on everybody. They censored. They censored the internet. They censored the social media accounts. They did this. They've done that. This stuff we learned about the FBI. And what did they do? Did they get punished? Did anybody get fired? Like at least a few of them, 11 of them got fired during the Trump thing. No. Oh, they got punished with a new headquarters. It's a tough world down there in DC. And our party, owns the friggin'. Our party owns the damn, what do you call it? The House of Representatives. It's crazy. And, oh man. You see that depression ad where this girl says, I'm finally going to talk to my doctor about depression?
Is that the one where she got like the paper plate with the smiley face on it or something?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I want to do a fake ad when I come back into the studio and say, I finally talked to my doctor about depression, and the thing is my doctor was a conservative, and my doctor says, well, let's see, do you enjoy this inflation? And no. And then my doctor said, do you enjoy the world being on the brink of war? And I said, no. And he says, do you think we should give billions to the Ukraine and nothing to poor Americans? And I said, no. And then he says, do you think we should pay for all these millions, 8 million people crossing the border and getting free rent and benefits? And I said, no, of course not. No, I don't like any of these things. And he said, well, who did you vote for? And I said, Joe Biden. And he says, you're not depressed, you're stupid. You're stupid. That's all. And we told you this was going to happen. But oh no. Anyways, how about some...
Yeah, I was going to say, you got about 2 minutes left.
Okay, 1620. Oh, the Mayflower anniversary, too. 1620, the passengers of cruise Mayflower sighted Cape Cod. 1938, Kristallnacht. That's right. It's okay to bring back Jew baiting. You can bait the Jews. One of my friends had mentioned something about the Rothschilds running Europe. Well, okay, they're a rich family. It's true, but they got rich by being cheap and making good investments. And there's a great book about Meyer Amstel Rothschild. It's probably where we get Amstel beer from. And but anyways, he he would loan money to all these kings and queens and in Europe because they every time they'd start a war, they'd need money and they'd tax their citizens, and pretty soon they'd be tapped out, kind of like we are now. You know what I mean? It's all going to defense. So Rothschild made a fortune by lending money to these pukes, the royal families. Was it because he was Jewish? No, it was because he was smart. And so I somewhere out in the barn, I have the whole series of books from Henry Ford called The International Jew. And he blames everything on the Jews this, the Jews that. Oh my God. There's only so much I can take. All right. And I'm not going to take any more. I've had it with this stuff. You think the Muslims are going to be better, honey? Okay. You like lipstick and makeup, and letting your hair flow in the breeze, riding in convertibles and stuff like that. Well, if you go with the Muslims, you're not going to be able to do that. They're going to put you in a beekeeper suit. And if you don't like the beekeeper suit, then you know what happens? That's it. And same thing if you're gay, or if you like Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light, alcohol. No, no alcohol for Muslims. They kill you. Gay people, Muhammad says, throw them off the roof. Okay. Throw them off the roof. And the same thing goes for transgenders too. It's crazy. And these kids are going to get behind something like this? What are you, stupid? I mean, really? Are you stupid? But don't look before you leap. Don't listen to me. What do we know? We don't know nothing, right, Toddster?
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, you're out of time, man.
Well, once again, you've wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. And hopefully next week we'll see you in the studio with a green screen and stuff. But until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque. Head east, worship the rock, walk around the rock in the men-only mosque. Okay, and head east and worship the rock and go Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar backwards.
It was a new day yesterday.